Okay, so hey, black women, I'm coming to you guys. Sitting here waiting for my car to be repaired. It's sunny, so I decided to sit in the sun instead of sitting inside the shop. Oh boy, let me tell you. Um, I wanted to talk about how there's a whole lot of stuff going on YouTube lately, right? In reference to the hate everybody has for spiritual whistleblower in regards to her opinion um, about the message that Shira 7 is giving and how women are taking it. And the comeback of Women's Fear with her overly religious, fanatical rhetoric, right? So here's a take that I don't think any of you are thinking about, because I happen to be one of the marginalized people here on this platform as well. And I understand where this woman is coming from in regards to her passion. I'm talking about spiritual whistleblower passion and her understanding of how when you see black women being misled and you see black women, I don't know if it's unknowingly or just voluntarily, going along with people that are harmful and detrimental to the collective of black women, but instead of them seeing the message for what it is, they tend to infantile the whole situation and make it seem as if it's a tit for tat or this person versus that, instead of really stepping back and letting go of, like I talk about this all the time, these ridiculous alliances and unmitigated loyalty you have to YouTubers that you have made iconic, who really are not worth anything when you really look at the content of their material, the repetitive message. It's really bad for you. But you guys have made these people like gods on here. So instead of talking long-winded, I'm going to get to the point. I watched a lot of videos yesterday in reference to TikTok and the black women's responses to spiritual whistleblower. And it's one thing I got to tell y'all, right? That lady is actually correct. And I know you don't want to hear that because you like the other lady, Shira, because she's been on here for like, I don't know, a decade or 15 years, 13 years, whatever it is. But just because somebody has longevity in the game doesn't mean that they're good for the game. And let me explain what I mean. You know that all these women, they talk a good game on YouTube, but they never put up and show up, right? All they ever do is talk about what black women can, the possibilities of what they can do, and gas you up so that literally you just keep showing up to pay for their lifestyle. But when it comes to putting in the real work, like showing up to the Black Women's March or encouraging their subscribers to be more proactive towards the injustices and the black femicide against black women, those things that are very, very important to black women, they never address them. And matter of fact, they trivialize them and minimize them as if black women dying and black women being beat in their homes, like the story the other day, Pretty Black Magic covered, with the 11-year-old boy was shot by the police because he actually was calling the police on his stepfather for beating his mother in the house, right? So this child, trying to safeguard and protect his mom, was shot in the chest by the very people who's supposed to come and protect him in Mississippi, right? And you see how this stuff all ties in? So like this incident happened in a state where they just passed the so-called Jim Crow law, the House Bill 1020 in Mississippi, where white people now have the ultimate authority over the regular representatives and the criminal justice system to only adjudicate crime over black people. Now, when you turn this back in focus towards YouTube, for black women who may live in that state or who are on here and they're supposed to be these big iconic people that have been here for a decade or more, you would think that if they really cared about the benefit of black women and not just their own selfish, self-centered, as whistleblower says, narcissistic benefit, they would at least give a small portion, and I've been saying this for the longest, a small amount of time on their big ass platforms to actually talk about things that benefit and that affect the collective of black women, but they don't. So therein lies the problem in itself. When people show you who they are, you need to believe them the first time. That is what Maya Angelou stated. That's a famous quote of hers, and it's real. So even though I know black women, when you come on here, you like to live in the fantasy of believing that the shit that this Shira 7 lady is talking is actually something attainable for you, because it's just these ample dudes out here looking to take care of you and do all this shit that she's talking about, when you know in reality that they're not. When you have black women being killed every 4 to 5 hours of the day, little black girls being violated, trafficked, and etc., where are these men that she's talking about? Where are they in ample supply so that all of you that are on her platform are going to get your own personal one to take home for Christmas and live happily ever after? So see, this is the shit that was making Spiritual Whistleblower upset, because I know y'all don't give older women no respect, no regard. You think we're stupid as fuck, we don't know nothing. But when we are literally trying to tell you that the majority of these women on here, like her and others, are full of shit and not worth your time, that's literally what it is. It has not a goddamn thing to do with jealousy, like I saw so many young women talking about, and envy and all this other stupid infantile shit. What it comes down to is plainly right in front of your face. This is simple. When you're passionate about people and you care about them, when you see something harming them and hurting them, you get upset and you want to have a say in that, and you want to, most importantly, end it. So that becomes the issue, because when you can't do that, then the frustration builds. And that's when you do things like what Spiritual Whistleblower did by calling her out. And then many people got offended by it. They got offended because they didn't understand what she was saying. And they, most importantly, didn't care about what she was saying. And that's a problem. That's a problem that we have within us. And it has been bred in us by the society, by our families, by white hierarchy, patriarchy, supremacy. All that type of shit has been bred into us to make us not give a fuck about the black woman like me and others, Spiritual Whistleblower, etc., who are actually trying to give you a wake-up call, like to let you know that shit is really not where it's at. That's some shit that's really not going to get you anything or anywhere. But if you don't want to listen, none of us can force you. But in the end, as in life and as with everything goes, you will learn the hard way. And you will learn because life it doesn't spare any of us from teachable moments. So I wanted to just share this with y'all, because I know, like, I share the same frustrations, because I sit down and I look at the channels of the black women on YouTube that have the hugest followings, and where this woman could say jump and all of you will ask how high, and they literally are offering you nothing. They're not offering you any individual growth, intellectual growth, nothing. It's the same stagnant shit to make money. And there's nothing wrong with black women making money, yes. But at the same time, my stance has always been and always will be, make money, give something back to the black women. And if you're not doing that, which none of them are, then you shouldn't be making any money. Because we already have enough confused, undereducated, misinformed, overly emotional, not invested in themselves black women. Seriously. So when spiritual whistleblower was going crazy, and I'm saying that because this is my terminology. That's the words I want to use, right? I don't mean it literally. I mean it figuratively, right? She was going crazy and was screaming about, if you follow me, if you follow the sprinkle lady, and you follow me, unfollow me, and block me, she's doing that because in her mind, right? When I saw her at the Black Women's March, I understood what she was trying to do and what she is doing. Because even though I don't particularly like the whole narcissistic, beat that definition to death, because I know that in psychology, there are so many personality disorders that narcissism does not even begin to cover all of the psychological issues and problems and traumas that Black people have polymorphically as a group of people due to the psychological effects of slavery and the psychological effects of racial trauma we have to endure in society every day. So when this woman, spiritual whistleblower, is screaming and yelling about, you stupid fucking Black women, she does not mean that to the extent of like tearing you down and hurting your feelings. That's that fucking frustration I'm talking about, y'all. That's that frustration when I was going to say better for a lack of other words, but I don't mean like to be smarter than y'all or to insult your intelligence, but like it's the same thing with me because I'm older than spiritual whistleblower, right? When I see a bullshit artist, I see them instantly because I've lived life long enough to see all these motherfucking players for who they are, where they are, and what they're doing, right? So she's doing the same thing at her level. And she sees that, and I see it too, but I don't feel it necessary to come out and be like, oh, don't listen to her, because I've done that in the past, and I see that y'all don't listen to that. So what happens is, it's unfortunate, but what happens is that the cycle of Black women being caught in the trap of poverty, being caught in the trap of being killed by Black femicide, living in domestic violence, it will continue. Because I'm like a Malcolm X in a woman's version, but I have no followers. And it is because of the male indoctrination and the male worshiping and identification that we have been brainwashed into believing that when I come out and say, Black woman, that is dangerous, please don't go there. You look at me and turn around and go, fuck you, bitch. Who are you to tell me what's dangerous and what not to do? And I'm looking out for your best interest. But the woman that knows it's dangerous for you, like Shira 7 and Cynthia and Princella and all the rest of these bitches on here that's doing everything to gain $1, they know what they're telling you is fucked up. And they're doing it intentionally because they don't give a fuck about the end result of how that shit is going to devastate you. All they care about is the immediate goal, which is, bitch, give me money. Come up off that hard money, that hard-earned money you worked for. I don't give a fuck how long you had to work, how many niggas you had to fuck to get it, what you had to do. I want my money. They're the biggest pimps on this motherfucker. And the reason you don't see them is because they look like you and me. Now, like I said, they got a right to hustle. But in the hustle, you need to give the fucking trick back something. They're not doing that. So this is this woman's frustration. Because this woman is seeing, because when you travel the world, right? You see shit, you understand shit. Not saying that y'all are not smart and you can't deduct things because you're a human being, you have that ability. But when I see the majority of you thinking that she's telling you this because she's worrying about her platform and it's really her versus the other woman, and it's about, oh, how you gonna talk about her asking for money when you're asking for money doing the same thing with your counseling? It's deeper than that. Yeah, they're both you see all that pollen and shit and dust and everything. You see how thick the air is down here? This is why allergies be killing me. But anyway, all of that is the reason why This lady is frustrated, whistleblower, and going crazy because she could see the writing on the wall, and she's trying to tell you guys, don't go, it's dangerous. But because, and I understand it because I was 20 something too at one time, black women want to feel loved like every other woman, and you want to feel like, you know, your men love you, and that, like Cynthia and all the rest of you, them tell you, there's a unicorn out there for you, that all you got to do is keep on keeping on, and he's going to come along and, like Shira 7 says, take care of you, house you, give you everything you want in life, and you don't have to worry about nothing, right? You really believe that because you want to believe that. But you know deep down inside that that shit is not true. You know it. And the same thing with divestors and all the rest of that. You know that the majority of that shit that they're all talking about is not true. You have seen endless stories, endless YouTube videos of how all that stuff has backfired on black women, whether they were trying to make a good faith attempt of making it work out for them or not. And it has nothing literally to do with you. It has to do with the anti-blackness of this world and the taught, indoctrinated hate of black women in this American society. So when you understand all that stuff, you get aggravated as an older woman or even a younger woman who has the intellect to see shit for what it is, because there are women of all ages that see through all the bullshit on here. Because there was a young woman in my rounds of listening to the women, I guess how you guys say, clap back at spiritual whistleblower in regards to her, as y'all thought it was an assault on Shira 7 when it's not. It is trying to get you guys to wake up and understand that you don't need to be wasting your time with that type of cheap shit that's going to get you nothing. And it really isn't. Because there are not that many men in the world that can take care of you, let alone the ones that are willing to do it. You guys already know they have the worst opinion of black women. Don't you see them all day talking shit about us on YouTube? And it's not just them, but they influence other men too. Like case in point, and I'm going to get back to the young lady. Well, let me just talk about the young lady, and then I'll tell you the example. The young lady who could see through the shit and gave like a really good example of why you should not listen to that, I put her up on my community page. But now here's the thing, right? When I told you that these black guys have a really bad opinion of you, right? And they influence other men to have the same. Right here where I'm at right now, this very fucking moment, okay? I'm at a repair shop that I come to all the time. These people have been knowing me for like over 10 years, right? There are 4 black dudes that work here, in addition to mostly the Caribbean men that are Indian, or when I say Indian, like all types of Indian background, literally from India, Indians that were taken to the Caribbean and indoctrinated into the culture, and Trinidadians, right? So, that's how I do. This is what I do in my life. I seek out businesses that are black owned, and I support black. So, when I found this shop full of Caribbean and black males that work here, this is where I do my business. But now here's the thing I'm telling you about. When it comes to how the stuff Shira 7 is telling you and trying to teach you is really bullshit. But if you want to listen to it and you want to like go through bumps in life, do what you got to do. If you feel she's helpful, you do your thing. But I'm going to tell you that she's not helpful. And she really is a grimy person. Because anybody, think about it. If you talk about sisterhood, anybody that takes another woman's husband intentionally, right? You need to think about that person's character, whether you agree with it or not. It's not good. And then to literally tell you that she didn't give a fuck if the dude is ugly, he cheating on her, whatever, as long as he pay her bills, that's all she cares about. That's really not some shit you need to be taking into your head and trying to mold yourself after. But to get back to how these black dudes influence other men, and how the things that she's teaching you and telling you is available to you is not a reality. So as I said, I've been coming here for like a decade, right? I have spent probably millions of dollars in this place, right? So one day I came, and I told y'all guys I drive a Land Rover, right? So in this Land Rover, there's a suspension. And anybody that owns these cars knows that the biggest problem with Land Rovers is the suspension. That shit is always acting up from time to time, whether you have an older version, newer version, or a classic version. So I had to come here because the man that just walked past me, the Trinidadian Indian man, Steven, he works for a Land Rover in Long Island, Glen Clove, him and his son, and he works here too, part-time. So he knows everything about this car, which is why I come. So this very man is the story I'm about to tell you about. So now, truth be told, that's a fine fucking man. When I tell you fine, this motherfucker, I would turn the camera around and show you, but you know this is YouTube, so I don't want no drama, because I come here all the time. So I don't want to turn the camera on him, his wife see it, his family, because I know he's married with children, because I've met his son. But he's fucking beautiful. This Indian man is built like a motherfucker. Got all the upper body, nice thighs, legs, all that. Look like he would fucking send you to paradise if you lay down with this man. That's how fine this motherfucker is. Nice in the face, real dark. His hair is starting to like do that salt and pepper thing, so he's got the nice hair going on with the cut and the beard and the goatee. That's a fine fucking man. When I tell you fine, if I didn't have principles about myself, I would do that man in a heartbeat, but that's another issue. So anyway, that very dude, right? He's here with black dudes he works with every day. Ugly black dudes. Dudes that are ugly to the point where, except for the one African man, I think he's from Senegal, he's a beautiful fucking man too. Very nice too, very sweet. He's the only black man I like here, the African man. Them other motherfuckers, throw them deep in the fucking trash and never let them out. But now the Indian dudes that are, here from the Caribbean and from India, they're very nice too. However, because they're around those other black guys outside of that African man, they believe all those fucking stereotypes about black women. And because I'm friendly, I'm beautiful, and I'm nice, these niggas in here were telling him that I was trying to push up on him or liked him and, oh, she's a hoe. I literally overheard this shit one day. And I fucking went up to this nigga and went off on him and was about to like really fucking hurt him, but I digress, right? Because I have to learn to control myself, because being a black woman, being a military person, a law enforcement person, I don't play no games when it comes to niggas trying to play me. I will fucking go in a minute. So I have to relax. I have to work on that. But anyway, so this man here that works here, right? Every time I come, he's like distant, right? Because of the shit these niggas told him. So one day I walk up to him and I said, what's the issue? Like I said, when I come here, I say hello. You say hello. You're civil. But you seem to always act like, you're trying to run away from me or something, or there's something going on. I said, what is it? I said, I've been coming here a very long time. I've always been respectful to you and your son. Why is it you make me feel like you don't like me? So he was like, oh, no, it's not that. And we had a couple of conversations, not just that day, but several others. And he finally, in addition to me hearing them, he didn't know that, right? I was waiting to see what he was going to say. He kind of let it be known that these guys go around talking about black women when they come here. So these guys are painting pictures of us being whores, being women that ain't shit. We don't have nothing. We always looking for men to do something for. This is what they do, because they know that they don't have shit to offer black women. So these other men who are in better positions than them, right? Because the black men that work here, they're low level. They're not the ones working on the cars, except for the one African man. He's a master mechanic, right? He makes money. So anyway, the other ones are like handy dudes. They clean up the grounds. They drive the cars if the cars need to be driven for all types of different reasons. But they're never literally working on the mechanics of the car because they don't have that knowledge. So they're resentful, hateful, and they're lower level employees. So when they see fine black women coming in here, and believe me, black women be coming in here rolling in Mercedes Benz, looking good from head to toe, making that type of money. Because this is a shop that, even though it deals with domestic cars, but it specializes in foreign cars. So all the black women that have all these foreign cars, they come here And in this area where I'm at right now, this is called Queens Village. This is where I actually grew up. Everybody over here lives in a house. There are no projects over here. This is a well-kept area, right? People here got a little bit of money. So when these black women roll up in here, they rolling up in here, they not rolling in here like there's some bum and they ain't got nothing. They know that, these black dudes. So they go out of their way to poison the reputation and disparage black women to make these other men who look at black women, because black women are attractive. Any man with a penis is going to see an attractive woman when the woman is attractive, right? They taint you to them. They talk about you to them. They create barriers and resentment in these men towards you because they're jealous, envious, and know they have no chance with you. So I told you all of that for you to understand. This is the frustration that spiritual whistleblower has with Shira 7. Because she knows that this woman has been, and I've seen her. I never liked her content. I can't say like her because I don't know her. And I don't do that. I don't look at the person and be like, oh, I don't like that bitch. No, I don't like the shit they're saying, the content they're putting out, what they're doing. Because they know they're intentionally hurting black women and they don't give a fuck. She's also one of them. But I don't give a fuck about that no more because y'all have shown me as a person who has been a thorough, authentic, genuine fucking black woman lover, content creator, that y'all don't give a fuck about me. You don't give a fuck about the content I put out. You don't give a fuck about the information I try to give you. All you care about is dumb bitches on here talking shit about fucking niggas, getting niggas, trying to play niggas, living off niggas. That's all you care about. So I get that. It has finally fucking clicked in my head. So that's why, if you notice, I have fell back on putting out real information. I have fell back on putting out like a lot of quality videos like I used to do in the past with a lot of information, student loan, all that shit I used to do every day on a regular. I don't do that shit no more. And I know y'all haven't noticed because I'm not the type of content creator you give a fuck about, so you wouldn't notice the subtle changes. And I'm cool because as long as I have like the desire to come on and give a little something, as long as I have that urge in me, I will do it. But it is dwindling slowly, and I will be, Black History soon enough, and I won't give a fuck. I won't turn on YouTube to give a fuck about what's happening with black women. I don't care. It will get to that point. And I'm going to tell you another thing. Because I see, like, I'm getting very jaded. I'm going to be real. I see this divide growing with this hatred towards older black women by younger black women because all these stupid bitches on here on YouTube. I no longer really go out of my way to help them in real life no more either. Like, I will attend things, like I'm going to the Women's March because I want the government to help black women. But the things that I can do personally, I don't care to do it anymore because I see that people get attacked, like spiritual whistleblower. I get attacked. Other women get attacked when they're actually on here really trying to help black women and really trying to get you to center yourself and think about you and don't give a fuck about no dude. You shouldn't be worrying about no fucking guy trying to take care of you. You should be worrying about you, getting your fucking money up, your education up, getting your own independence up, your autonomy up. You should be worrying about being the biggest fucking boss you could be so that you rolling around like me and everybody else with thousands of fucking dollars in your bank account, able to do what the fuck you want to do when you want to do it. If you're not living like that, you living fucking wrong. And if you listening to that chick, Shira 7 or whatever the fuck her name is, trying to live some mediocre, okey-doke fucking life with some nasty old nigga, saggy balls having motherfucker fucking on you so that you can have a roof over your head, you are a sad black woman. And that is what Spiritual Whistleblower was trying to tell you. The bullshit that lady is peddling is teaching you to cheat yourself and to give up, basically, on your greatest potential. And to just settle for motherfuckers that can provide the basic bare necessities. The fucking bare minimum. But if you want to do that, who am I to try to stop you? But I had to come to, I felt it necessary to come and explain what spiritual whistleblower was doing. Now I heard it all on TikTok because I was actually watching it for a couple of hours. People were attacking her spirit. You confuse passion with anger and jealousy way too much, and I know why that's done. Because as black women, we are taught that we're not attractive, and we tend to gauge our value and our worth based off of how we look and if other people find us attractive, or if we fit the mold of being what black males have deemed as being, oh, she's bad, she's fine, she's acceptable. That's what's going on way too much. So when you have a person like spiritual whistleblower who exudes that and who plays on that, because she does that thing like she's a tomboy during the day, but she's a bad bitch at night. She plays on that mental fucking, what how can I describe it? Tick. It's like having Tourette's. Like that's a thing that's stuck in your head that no matter what you say doesn't define you. It really does. Because I see it throughout YouTube. I see it throughout everyday life. It's just that level of small competition that black women want to have with each other needs to stop. And that is created because of all this environment that you want to be indoctrinated into. So when spiritual whistleblower is doing all that, like telling y'all, if you subscribe to the sprinkle lady, block me, that's frustration. That's passion. That's the same thing I do when I come on here and be yelling and screaming, motherfucker, da 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 da. That's not towards you personally, because I don't know you personally. It's towards the situation. And even though she made, like, I think she literally made like 8 videos talking about the Shira lady, it's because, like, seriously, I really can't explain it to you no more than just using the word passion. Because I'm quite sure that a lot of you can't even relate to the fact that as a black woman, I literally love other black women. And I don't got to know them. I don't got to be friends with them. It gives me fucking joy to watch them walk down the street with their head held up high and feeling themselves and being confident and loving themselves. That shit makes me love myself even more too when I see them shining, right? So I think that truly y'all really can't relate to that because we have been so accustomed to tearing each other down and hating on each other and promoting hate towards each other that this is why you're also treating this situation right here as a tit for tat, her versus this one, or spiritual against Shira. And it's not that. Because who those women are, the content of their character, you don't know that because it's not on YouTube. What is on YouTube is the content of their material. That's the only thing you should be going by, right? Shira might be a cool fucking person in real life and might not even be nothing like the shit she portrays on YouTube. You'll never know that because you don't know her in real life. Same thing with spiritual whistleblower. But the thing that is the issue here is the fact that this is a platform that reaches, influences, and can change lives. The passion that spiritual whistleblower is speaking to is the fact that if you're going to be on here trying to change lives, do it for the positive, not the grimy, negative, disguised as positive. Because black women, be real, and you need to be honest with yourself. If you living with a dude, you got no money, you got no job, you got no education, all you got is pussy payments and pussy pleasure, a man is going to abuse the shit out of you. He's going to use you, he's going to cheat on you, he's going to beat your ass. He may even take your life from you because he knows you don't have shit in this world outside of what he gives you. You are literally a fucking indentured slave or a handmaiden, or what's the motherfucking slave? A serf. Look, S-U-R-F, a fucking serf. These are the slaves back in the Greek and Roman days that came with the property. That's what you're turning yourself into. And I don't care how many stories you've heard on YouTube from Burb and Bougie, my other girl that I love so much. Damn, I can't think of her name right now. Chantel. Anyway, I'll put her up on my community page whenever the hell I get home. She's a great chick. Like, I didn't mean to call her a chick. A great black woman. She gets all of these true stories off of Reddit and all these other places. And she literally, like, has all these examples trying to show black women, trying to give you all these parables, life stories of real life situations where never rely on a man and be in a situation where you're the monkey on his back or his charge, for all you Caribbean women out there, right? And you have nothing of your own. The way Shira 7 is teaching you to go, because those stories of those women that have to come back from those horrible situations are devastating. Some of them ended up in jail, ended up completely destitute in life, having nowhere to go, being homeless. It is a serious, hard downward spiral. So when you got to sit down and think about this situation of spiritual whistleblower versus Shira 7, it is more than the simplistic shit you're trying to make it be about, a personality clash between two women, because you don't know neither one of them. So you can only go by what they're putting on the content. Don't read into the people because you don't know them, but the content they're putting out. All right? And I just got to tell you, I really wish y'all would stop that loyalty shit and like really just start growing that intellect, because she really is toxic and bad, the Shira lady. It is what it is. Now, is she harming people? No. Because she's not forcing you to listen to that shit she's talking. But she clearly knows what she's saying is bullshit. And if you listen to her in depth and you hear her tell her story over time, because she's been on here for a long time, and I saw her do a little comeback at it, and she was like, I don't give a fuck. I've had haters the whole time I've been here. I don't care about them. I just keep doing what I'm doing. Because she's a grimy hustler. She's a pimp. She does not give a fuck about what anybody says about her, because it's not interrupting her cash flow. The motherfucker that's able to put a dent in that cash flow of hers, oh, you're going to see that bitch turn to another motherfucker if that person ever arrives on this platform. And I doubt it would ever be the case, because black women are so indoctrinated and desperate and in need for some silly woman to come on here trying to tell them how to dupe a man and how to get in good with a man, instead of respecting the black women that are trying to tell you how to do right by getting in tune with yourself, taking care of yourself, centering yourself, doing for yourself, getting for yourself, taking care of yourself. I guess nobody has told you that you are enough. You are all you need. And you don't ever want to be somebody else's obligation, because it's never going to be quite cracked up to what you think it's going to be. It's always going to be worse than what you think it's going to be, because there's always other contributing and extenuating factors that you haven't seen or that are created as time goes along. And like I said, you'll learn that in time, but you shouldn't have to. Just like stop listening to that shit and go on out into this world and do everything you got to do to increase your take-home pay, your intellect, your person, and everything you have going on in your life. And you'll be the winner then. Not worrying about trying to get somebody who's going to give you everything you can't give yourself, because you're never going to find that person, because that whole scenario doesn't exist. That's just my take on it. Y'all do with it what you want. Listen, I'm I'm like everybody else. RWS hashtag exposed. I'm like everybody else. I'm about ready to give up on black women, because it seems like those of us that really love y'all and care about y'all, you don't give a fuck about what we saying. But anybody out here trying to exploit you, you are down for them with undying loyalty. It's so crazy. And the crazy part about life is you always got to get really fucked up before you learn the lesson, no matter how many people try to warn you. I guess it is what it is. Anyway, I just felt I would come and express a little more of that because I saw so many people reading into the situation the wrong way instead of understanding what is actually going on. It is somebody trying to keep you from making wrong choices, spiritual whistleblower, versus a person who doesn't care, share 7, if you make bad choices or not, as long as you benefit her. The same old thing that's been going on YouTube. YouTube is an exploitation vehicle. It is 2023's black exploitation movie. That's literally what it is. So I doubt that Shira 7 is going to go to the Black Women's March. I doubt that she's going to be out there trying to call and garner support for black femicide. I doubt that she's going to be doing anything to benefit black women. But I know for a fact she will always be on YouTube as long as they allow her to be, brainwashing black women into benefiting herself. And if y'all don't understand that, with all these women on here that are not doing anything for you, there's no need for the rest of us who are actually trying to provide information and help to even be here, because we don't make a dent in that wave of delusion that's reigning over YouTube. All right, that's what I came to say. Do what you feel you got to do. That's it. I hope these guys hurry up because I would like to get out of here sometime today. And y'all be good.